that this is the Republicans' fault. If you are in charge, you have to negotiate. And just saying over and over, we need to open the government, and then we promise we'll do it.
We have to negotiate, meaning we have to give in to you.
You have to give something. That is how this works.
I think.
And what are you planning on giving?
Just allowing this to happen is a cooperation. You guys have to actually somehow stop lying to us about.
So, here's how it started. Jessica Tarlov tried to spin the latest government shutdown as a Republican failure. She sat there, confidently explaining that the GOP is somehow to blame for everything that's happening. But before she could even finish laying out her argument, Greg Gutfeld jumped in, and honestly, what happened next was pure dismantling in real time. It wasn't mean-spirited, it was surgical. He took apart her reasoning piece by piece, exposing how the talking points she was repeating didn't actually match what was going on. And it's kind of amazing because for all the energy Jessica puts into defending the Democrats, her story doesn't line up with reality.
Jessica.
Or an American citizen as
well. Can you tell me how this is the Republicans' fault? Sure. I'm asking for a friend.
I'm glad that you saw my tweet and asking 3 million nasty people on the internet, but I knew exactly what I was saying, because the point is that with great power comes great responsibility. I heard that once in a great Spider-Man movie. And Republicans are in charge. They're not 60 votes in charge, but they've got a majority of the way there. And when you are in charge and you don't have all the votes that you need, it is incumbent upon you to make a deal with the people whose votes you need. And based on prior voting for CRs, you know that there are moderate Democrats who would certainly be willing to have a conversation with you if you would do that properly timed, not open up the government and then make the same promises that they have for months. I mean, this has been going on since the big, beautiful bill was signed, that they've been saying, yeah, we want to do something on ACA premiums. And then they keep kicking the can down the road. We know that Harry Enton is about to, maybe while we're speaking right now, there will be another clip with the reverse story out about what's going on. And so I'll do the work for him. Harry Enton put up the Navigator survey, which shows that the American public is blaming the Republicans by 14 points now, and it was just 10 points last week. The story about Democrats cutting off SNAP benefits and that we're the heartless ones and Mike Johnson feels terrible is how you say BS.
Now here's where it gets even funnier. Even CNN, of all networks, called out the same nonsense that Jessica was defending. Think about that for a second. When CNN is fact-checking the Democrats on their own narrative, you know something's off. The network admitted that the Democratic side is playing politics with the shutdown and that this Republicans are the villains line doesn't add up. So when Jessica called the criticism BS, it actually made her look worse, not better. Because if CNN, not exactly a conservative-friendly outlet, is calling it out, maybe it's not BS after all.
This weekend,
should the
we're not going to stand for it.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their tactics.
By the White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This is also, Congresswoman, this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to 3 weeks worth of SNAP funds. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me tell you that for the grandparents, for grandparents that literally are feeding their children.
My point is that it's a short-term solution.
In those accounts.
It's a short-term.
At the end of the day, people need to be able to feed their families, and Saturday is when those funds run out.
If you feel so strongly, Congresswoman, why not ask the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government so that the SNAP funds...
Sir, I am here in the House of Representatives. It is shut down. I am fighting to get the government reopened. I am fighting to get funding put back into SNAP that has already existed.
So, according to Jessica, Republicans are the reason the government is shut down. Why? Because they won't just give the Democrats everything they want. That's her logic in a nutshell. If you're in charge, it's your job to surrender. Apparently, negotiation means agreeing with the other side, no matter how unreasonable the demand. In Jessica's world, compromise doesn't mean meeting halfway. It means Republicans waving a white flag and saying, "Sure, take it all." It's a bizarre version of democracy where one side demands, and the other side apologizes for even asking questions.
Mike Johnson, in his big, beautiful bill, $186 billion gone from the SNAP program. And in the 2018 shutdown, Donald Trump made sure that people got their SNAP benefits because he knows that it's important. And that's why Josh Hawley wants to have a standalone bill about SNAP. Josh Hawley, who also wants a standalone bill to make sure that people get their Medicaid coverage back because the big, beautiful bill takes it away. So, Gregory, that is how I have shown you that my tweet wasn't dumb. That I'm not dumb, and that this is the Republicans' fault. Nothing that I have said is a lie. Nothing at all. If you get 90% of the big, beautiful bill and you have to protect Americans' health care, which, by the way, they'll reward you at the polls. Because guess what? People like to have health care coverage and they don't want to see their premiums go up 114%. You will be thanking me. You will not be mocking me. You will be bowing down at my altar about the fact that I saved your party.
Yes, yes.
We know how this ends. When it first started, I said, we all know how this is going to end. It will end with the Democrats caving. The pain is optional. They continue the suffering.
Ooh, I like the way you say that. Dems are banking on Republicans getting the blame if food banks start overflowing, but CNN's data guru says not so fast.
Republican Congress's net approval rating versus pre-shutdown. It's rallying the base for sure. Look at this. The net approval rating up 12 points versus pre-shutdown. But it's not just with the base. It's also with the middle of the electorate. Look at this. Among independents, it's up 8 points as well. So we've got a situation here where Republicans with the shutdown are actually rallying their base, but it's also something that's not hurting them with the folks in the middle. If anything, it's helping them with folks in the middle.
You know, Dana, I think the Dems could have gotten away with the shutdown as the Republicans' fault before Musk bought X. But the population is too savvy. So if you say, oh, they create the House and Senate, Jessica, a 10-year-old can easily refute that by just saying, no, you need 60, and that's on the Democrats. But do you think that it feels like the key to the Democrat success is other people's suffering? They're basically taking their own constituency and holding them like in this kind of like threat, I don't know what you call it. Hostage. Thank you.
Anytime. Yeah, I think it's an abomination because they're doing that from the safety and comfort of their own offices while they're enjoying their paychecks. They are enjoying as well, for example, the protection by certain officers and Secret Service, let's say, they're not getting their paychecks.
I feel like part of that is due to after the Biden cover-up, no one feels compelled to take the word of Democrats or the media. They've lost credibility. So they're just, if they're blaming the Republicans, people are going like, well, then it can't be the Republicans.
And here's the part that really exposes what's going on. Democrats aren't even trying to hide it anymore. They've openly admitted that this shutdown gives them political leverage. Leverage. That word says it all. They're not talking about helping struggling families or fixing budgets. They're talking about gaining power. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans are stuck waiting, watching, and paying the price for a standoff that benefits no one except the political class. Gutfeld said it perfectly. Democrats seem to need people to suffer to score points. That's not governing, that's manipulation.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
This is where the gaslighting goes into overdrive. Jessica actually claimed that the people voting yes to reopen the government are somehow the ones keeping it closed, while the people voting no are the real heroes trying to get it open. You almost have to admire the creativity it takes to twist logic that far. It's like she's arguing in a mirror, everything's flipped. It's yes means no politics, where words don't mean anything as long as they sound passionate on TV. But here's the reality. Even CNN has admitted that Democrats are blocking the reopening. When that happens, the narrative collapses under its own weight.
Democrats would not have shut the government down this time if their political careers did not depend on it. And that is not some Republican talking point. That is the objective truth. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, the number 2 Democrat in the House yesterday openly admitted to that fact. Catherine Clark is the House Democrat whip. She works right under Hakeem Jeffries as the number 1 Democrat, and she was in an interview and she said to one of your colleagues sitting here on the front row, quote, "Of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but this is one of the few leverage times we have," unquote.
Shutdowns are terrible. And of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leverage times we have.
It's shocking to hear them say that out loud. By her own admission, she knows that the American people are suffering. Democrats know that millions of federal workers are desperate for their paychecks. They know that thousands of flights have been delayed. They know that SNAP benefits and nutrition assistance for women, infants, and children are in jeopardy for millions of American families. And yet, they don't seem to care. But you know what? Take heart, America. Take heart. Because all your suffering is for a good cause. It's for the Democrats' political leverage.
At the end of the day, the shutdown isn't exposing Republicans. It's exposing Democrats. Because when your entire strategy depends on creating pain for voters and then blaming your opponents for it, you stop being the party of compassion. You become the party of conditions. Their message is basically, we'll stop the suffering when you give us what we want. That's not empathy, that's extortion. And what's worse is how proud they are of it. They talk about leverage like it's a sign of smart politics, not a sign of total moral failure.
This is breakout mode for the Republican Party, and it's another lesson that we learned from Trump. We learned that Democrats treat tax dollars like musical chairs. Oh, it's not going to illegals, they say. That's true. You don't hand 10 grand right there when they walk in across the border. No, but you slip it into the COVID relief bill, then you jack it all up, and then you try to make it temporary. Or you say we don't pay for illegal health care. Well, the states do. And how are the states able to do it? Because the federal government gives them money to spend on other things, so they can spend it there. It's an opportunity cost. Democrats are like the dude with the EBT card that was meant for milk and bread, but they end up buying cigarettes and liquor for their...
So yeah, Jessica can keep blaming Republicans all she wants, but no amount of emotional storytelling can cover up the truth that her side is the one holding the line against reopening. And honestly, watching her twist herself into rhetorical knots to defend it, you can't help but think she'd fit right in on The View, loud on outrage, light on logic, and allergic to accountability. But that's just my take. What do you think? Is Gutfeld right that Democrats are using people's pain as a political weapon? Or do you see it differently? Let me know your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want to see more honest commentary that cuts through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.